Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable. YES Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance.
Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to YES Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance. I'm Swati Shahi. Now, India's economic prowess has come to the forefront as it has paved its path to attain the $10 trillion pinnacle by 2030. Now, one of the strongest pillars for achieving India's economic prowess has been the banking sector. And well, YES Bank, one of the leading private sector banks, not only endorses this vision, but is also set to catalyze the process through its products, offerings, and of course, its technology-driven approach. To further deliberate on the bank's vision, we have with us a visionary leader with over 35 years of experience in the banking industry. And with a round of applause, please join me in welcoming the turnaround specialist and the chief architect of YES Bank of today, Mr. Prashant Kumar, who is the MD and CEO of YES Bank, for his opening address.
Very good evening to all of you and a warm welcome to this event in Ahmedabad, which is the cultural and commercial heart of the vibrant state of Gujarat. This is also the center of India's economic and the industrial growth in the 21st century. The Growth Summit 2024, this is a first of its kind initiative presented by YES Bank and CNBC-TV18, aims at envisaging India's path to self-reliance and economic prosperity, and in turn exploring how India's key sectoral strength and regional business trends can be leveraged to accelerate our nation's economic progress. At YES Bank, we have been consciously aligning our strategic initiatives with the larger vision of achieving Viksit Bharat by 2047. Powering digital India with our best-in-class technology, YES Bank facilitates today 30% of the all Aadhaar-enabled payment system in the country. We also emerged as #1 payment service provider bank in the last quarter of current financial year of 2023, and the bank has also made large strides in augmenting its digital banking capabilities, launching UPI payments through RuPay credit card, enabling the UPI interoperability on the RBI digital rupee, and we are the first bank in the country to issue an ONDC network gift card for the MSME segment. To further develop India's startup ecosystem, YES Bank has also set up a dedicated new age banking team, which is geared to meet the banking needs of future unicorns and soonicorns. YES Bank's robust ESG focus and climate-driven governance structure is also exemplified by its commitment to achieving net zero carbon emission by 2030. I'm saying another 6 years. The bank has also launched a host of financial solutions to promote adoption of renewable energy, electric vehicles, and rooftop solar installation amongst the MSMEs. We are also penetrating the emerging rural market and priority sector lending segments with tailored credit solutions. Vibrant Gujarat's 15% CAGR growth over the last 2 decades had demonstrated how a superlative policy framework, increased public-private collaboration, and skilling focus can push rapid economic development. We would like to be very proud partners with all of you in the journey of our countries towards a $10 trillion economy. Thank you so much.
YES Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance. YES Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance.
Let us now have on stage Yash Jain from CNBC-TV18 to moderate the chat with a luminary leader who has pioneered multiple leadership roles in the course of his career and at the same time has spearheaded commendable philanthropic initiatives.
To start with, the whole point about, working and strengthening your business, some see it as a destination, some see it as a journey. I want to understand what's your view on this, and as far as, what it takes to sort of bring out the inner strength of business when there are geopolitical factors, macro factors which go against you. How do you actually move ahead in this journey?
Today, I think we all are very lucky businessmen. We are very lucky that we have today in a position where which the world is looking at India very seriously and we are looking at India at growth. I have never seen that, honestly. And I am one of those lucky guys also because I have seen both sides of it. I have seen India because I started at the pre-rivalization when it had started, say 91, I started in 90. So I saw that India. Then I saw the India later, then there was economic 2000s. And then in this government, I have seen the way India has. So I have seen all the phases. And I can clearly say we are on the right direction. And in meetings like this and with media like this, I would like to suggest that we should have an India model of growth. Because we want the benefits of growth, but we won't want the problems of growth which the Western world and other countries have got with it. And most of it has to do with family life also. So this is the India model we have to talk about.
So what are those 4 or 5 layers that need to be taken care of for this next step of execution?
Execution first, I'll talk of both executions at industry level, societal level, and at the government level. At the government level, what they are doing is perfect. But I somehow believe that the space of work has to be much faster, especially in the ease of doing business. Because, of course, there are a lot of acts which are simplified, a lot of acts which have been decriminalized. A lot of you might be knowing about 100 plus acts have been decriminalized. I should really praise the government for it. But at other end, most of the time, entrepreneurs will end up telling you that there are so many new obstacles coming up. So I somehow believe that ease of doing business has to be a reality. Number 2, I am talking of ease of litigating also. Imagine each cases, we all know, I think the world talks of Indian law, but I think we should understand we need faster laws. Number 3, I still believe a lot of work needs to be done on taxation. Income tax also and GST also.
I want to understand this now from the industry's point of view, from corporate's point of view. According to you, if $10 trillion is the goal that you're moving ahead with, what gear is the India corporate sector, India Inc., driving its car towards that particular goal?
See, first, when you talk of any goal which is dollar linked, my question always is, I don't know what INR dollar would be by that time. So we have to look at that also. Because if the dollar is 100 rupees, that time is different, dollar is 85 is different, dollars become 70 is different. So I would, and honestly, I will not like to put one number and one put goal, but definitely, in my opinion, that I somehow believe that India has a unique chance now to position itself as a developed country already. Because I'll tell you why. Because our thoughts and processes now are like of the big player already. And high time that we take a lead and do, like if we can sign the COPS agreement in certain phases and we can take sustainable goals, I somehow believe we should ensure that on incomes like global taxation, on things like GST, we should proactively ensure that we lower the taxes.
What I want to understand from you, how important is a change required as far as state policies are concerned?
To be very honest with you, Gujarat is at the forefront of changes in policies, eco-friendly, and in fact, other states are following the Gujarat model. And luckily, in certain of the association, I have been part of even policy framing of some other states' industrial policy. And we had open discussions with the secretaries, and they were checking Gujarat papers and saying, "मैं गुजरात की policy से कैसे better बनाऊं?" So Gujarat template is being followed across the country today, very frankly. Even our vibrant Gujarat model is being followed across the world. So we want the same model. So I think that way we are lucky that we are staying in a state which is a template for change.
What happens at that highest level between countries? How does it really impact the smallest of businesses when that business aspires to go global? I mean, how does that percolate to the lowest level?
Lord, today there was some bombing in the Gulf, and suddenly the shipping rates have become 3 times. And most of our Gujarat MSMEs have rate contracts and they are paying from their pocket. Today, unfortunately, even if somebody sneezes abroad, there is a cold in Gujarat industry. So today we are linked. There is no way we cannot. If you ask me, the government has to support us. They have, like many other governments do support us. And if you ask me, the biggest thing which is ailing us, exporters especially, is the logistic cost. Huge logistic cost, huge logistic, what I call, there is no certainty. That's why I have been saying that you have like a PLI today, which has really benefited the big few. We should have a PLI for MSMEs also.
In the last 10 years, how have you seen Indian businesses even thinking of becoming competitive on a global stage? How has that scenario changed when you talk to businesses?
Big businesses have become competitive also because of the quality. In my mind, I have seen the quality of Indian products in export has really increased, and that has really helped. Second, a lot of big companies are looking seriously at India as an option, as a supply chain option. So a lot of big companies are wanting to get them make in India or made through contract job workers. So that has really, really helped. And I think successes in the mobile phone, successes in the cars, other white goods, where many times we were only importing. Today, we are exporting from India these products to the world. I will not take brands, but they are evidently, which shows that I think Indian government's policies are working. And the world is now seriously thinking, yes, India can manufacture and make for the world. Now the same model we need to follow for many, many, many other products also. And I somehow believe more so in products which are agri-linked.
When you sit here, when you speak to smaller businesses, bigger businesses, do you see more of a threat that smaller businesses will be left behind when it comes to adoption of technology? Or do you see a good democratization of technology happening, as the competitive intensity increases down the supply chain?
Till now, I didn't take any example of Rasna, but now I will take in this question, because if I don't give an illustration, probably my answer will not be there. The world knows that artificial colors are not too good, artificial flavors are not too good, and the world wanted to adapt to them. But do you know which is the country which made the first natural color and natural flavor powder drink in the world? It was Rasna, nobody else. Though in this company there are most are the biggest MNCs. Do you know that? No. Everybody knows that phosphoric acid in cola is bad. The only cola in India branded without phosphoric acid is Rasna. I firmly believe that this is our competitive advantage. That for us, technology is our competitive advantage. I somehow believe that for all companies in India, we should work in our sphere and be the first in the world. And that has helped. Now in some countries where artificial colors are banned, Rasna is the only possible choice, because I was the one we started doing it in 17. So I somehow believe you need to be futuristic, be ready for the future as far as technology is concerned. And I would urge everybody to do it. It doesn't cost too much money. And even if it costs, I somehow believe in our balance sheets, 1 or 2% of our money spent on R&D is something which is a bare minimum is required. I am not driven by any merchant banker or any financier way. I can do as an entrepreneur what I want. And I think that is more important, if you ask me.
Absolutely perfect in that sense, the recollection part of it. But to me personally, if I talk about, there are certain brands that always excite me in terms of why are they not listed on stock exchanges. Yours is, of course, one of those brands. I understand you sort of partially answered that question. You don't have shareholders in that sense. You have a family business. There's no pressure in that sense from any stakeholder. But has the thought ever come to you? Have you ever thought that, if it's a listed company, there are shareholders, there are stakeholders?
No, I am not against listing at all. In fact, after COVID, in 2-3 things I learned in COVID. One is to cook, and second, I was to buy shares. I was never in the share market before COVID. After COVID, I became in the share market. And to be very honest, I made money. So I'm happy, man. Also, cooking, I don't know how much I made people happy, but share market, yes. And there's nothing wrong. The reason we are not in it is because somehow I believe that if I have X money, which is lying around, then why do I need to take more money? It is better I use my own money. If I need money tomorrow, if I've got a 5,000 crore expansion, I need money, I will come to the public and make them part of it because I somehow believe, and this is the most important thing in IPO, if I borrow, I will only borrow if I have the capacity to make him play what I expect. Where do I expect when I invest? That I will earn 15-20%, otherwise why would I invest in a share? Similarly, if I can't give that return to my shareholders, I will not come. So I don't want to put money and then siphon off to some XYZ, ABC, and I don't want to do that. I am an honest man. If I take money, I want to give return to the investor more than the benchmark of the market. So we'll do it one day, but today I don't think we require that, honestly. We don't require. But if we do, we will ensure that people make a lot of money.
One thing that we saw happening in the last 2-3 years was a significant deleveraging of balance sheets. How do you think that has prepared Indian businesses, be it small, medium, large, for any future shocks or any sort of untoward incidents globally or on a domestic front? And how important was that move to sort of corporate side deleverage balance sheets?
It has done very good. It has done very good, and I think we are at a very good level to absorb more shops. I somehow believe that FDIs are coming to India not because they love India. They have realized that in India there is more money to be made, and I think India has more future. And I think this whole exercise has really helped India. More important than this, India, I think if you ask me, the time has come when I'm expecting today huge amount of wealth funds and pension funds are sitting in the world. And if those people there today have a cap, I'll only put X% in India. The way Indian economies are happening, I do expect if this caps increase, which they should, we are expecting more and more money to come. And I am a firm believer that many times the rating agencies are not doing proper ratings of India for whatever reason. If they do, automatically the share will increase.
Thank you, Mr. Kambata, for speaking to us, and pleasure to get all those insights. Thank you.
YES Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance. YES Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance.
Max Life Insurance is one of India's leading companies that offers a plethora of life insurance and policies with transparency and credibility. To further elaborate on this and speak on financial inclusion for a sustainable future, please join me in welcoming Prashant Tripathi, CEO, Max Life Insurance. A round of applause.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you with pride, with optimism, with positivity. For many, many years, all of us working in the corporate world, we will have our own plans, 5-year plans, 10-year plans, and we'll work towards it. But it's now, in the last few years, that we're talking about the plan for the country. Isn't that amazing? And honestly, we all believe that it is achievable. All debates aside, in terms of how fast it could happen, whether it could happen in 5 years or 10 years, and there are many people throwing many numbers, here is the life insurance professionals' take on how long it will take. To our advisors, we teach them a rule of 72. So rule of 72 is 72 divided by what percentage GDP growth that comes. So on a real basis, if we grow at 7%, it will take us 10 years. On a nominal basis, if 12 to 13% is nominal growth, it will take us 5 to 6 years. So in all likelihood, FX being neutral, I think by 2030, 31, we will be a 10 trillion economy. In real terms, I think by 2035, we will be a 10 trillion economy. But either which ways, I think it is absolutely fantastic that we are talking about these growth numbers. And what is driving this? I think what is driving this is, of course, we all talk about our demographic profile. But more than that, I think what is driving is stability, the coherent strategy of how to run this country. Coming from life insurance, I'll share with you some of the insights with respect to our own industry. Every year, we run a campaign called India Protection Quotient, where we go to urban areas, at times to rural areas as well, to interview with statistically relevant set of people to find how much insurance they own. The insurance ownership, in terms of term ownership, is about 31% for urban people. But half the people say that their coverage is not sufficient, which means it is 15. However, if we start to go down, and last year we did a survey going to villages, that number was 12%, but out of that 12%, 10% was Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, which means only 2% people had any kind of protection in our villages. And with this level of uncertainty, lower focus on risk management, I think there's a much broader need for us to democratize the growth that we see. And while it is a data from life insurance industry, I think everything, banking, financial services, anything that we look at, I think this divide has to be bridged. And that really asks for thinking about every industry a bit differently in terms of including more and more people to go ahead and participate in this 10 trillion story. If I were to look at my industry, we will have to do a few things. I think we will have to completely change the products. Our regulator talks about it very often. Nowadays, the voice has become even sharper. But I think if we have to reach out to people, we can't reach out to a wider set of people with the same products. That product has to become smaller, more affordable, should cater to the needs of the people. Coming more to the theme of MSMEs, 33% of our GDP is contributed by our MSMEs. 12 crore jobs are given in this country by MSMEs. And in Gujarat, that number is actually 40%. You will be knowing more than I do. 40% of the GDP of Gujarat is MSMEs. And when we think about MSMEs, the theme of inclusiveness and wider financial well-being has to be thought through. I'm here actually to talk about another element which MSMEs need a lot, which is risk management. As an industry and financial services in general, we will have to create this inclusivity. Right now, there's large focus on large enterprises, but again, from the theme of inclusivity, bringing them to every entrepreneur, bringing them to every business, small or large, is the need of the hour. I'm 100% sure that as time passes, all of us will understand more and more the nitty-gritties, but the need of the hour. Will understand more on why it is important to get the model right, not just the 10 trillion number right. And I'm sure with the help of all the people who are participating in the ecosystem, we will not only be able to achieve the dream of being a 10 trillion economy, we will be able to achieve the dream of 10 trillion economy with each and every citizen of this country benefiting from the prosperity. Thank you very much.
Yes Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance. Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.